Peace. This is a meat and potatoes sorcery production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is witchcraft and sexuality. I think that what's very important, if we could take anything away from the Salem witch trials, is the torture that was inflicted on innocent women. Now, why was this done? This was chiefly done to remove sexual competition. And hear me now and believe me later. Yes, women compete against each other. Don't let no one tell you any different. They do. And a lot of women would use the excuse that another woman was practicing witchcraft either against them or using it to get their husband or somebody that they weren't even married to, just somebody that they were pursuing, but they were engaging in the practice nonetheless. So, just like you had Cotton Mather, who was leading the charge, you had other people that were doing it as well. And the majority of them were women. They were doing this. Get rid of your rivals. And some men, they were participating as well because they wanted their women to acquiesce and be virtuous. Or if a woman rejected their advances, then it's like, oh, well, you're rejecting me because you're a witch. So it was silly nonsense that was going on like this. And a lot of women died. But what happened also is this: for those that do path working, you can do it to go to the Akashic records. There are many women that have incarnated in the modern paradigm who 2 to 3 lifetimes ago were a witch. So they can do some path working to take something away from that because there's a satanic panic coming, of course, as well as once again attacking witchcraft. And we're also seeing how child slavery is up. You have parents who are so sick and so demented, they're on the internet trying to get their young girls into prostitution. This is how bad it is. So there are some goddesses that can help you. Of course, keep your eyes open if you're a good parent. And I'm not asking you to be a hero. That's what so-called law enforcement is for. But I would like to see a little bit more empathy and concern. And I remember when I was attending college, and I remember my sociology professor, I'll never forget when he told me this. He said sometimes the worst indictment was to be beautiful because somebody would prey upon you. And when it was chattel slavery, it was a so-called slave master. But people left out another component that they don't talk about. There were so-called Christian ministers back then that were raping young men. They don't talk about that. But that information has been recorded and is in possession of the Vatican. So one thing about people who are involved in witchcraft back there, and there's a great article, you can use this as a resource. It was in the Washington Post, but you can go to washingtonpost.com and you can talk about witchcraft. And that article should come up because white women were getting burnt at the stake, but who were getting burnt more at the stake? It was black women. If they felt that black women were witches, they were burnt alive too. And I can give you a name of somebody who was the equivalent of Joan of Arc, and she was a martyr herself from the Congo, Kempavita. She was burnt at the stake. She's from the Congo. So there are some goddesses, as I suggested, that you can work with against rapists. You can work with Lilith. There's a chance that you can work with Lilith to help you. Also, who's good for helping rape victims or women who are adults and being protected is Hera. Hera is a Greek goddess and she is the wife of Zeus. And lastly, a protector of young girls and helping them and keeping predators away from young girls is Artemis. Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. So that's just three that you can work with. But again, there's witchcraft and there's sexuality. And many of the people that when they met their demise over false accusations, they did reincarnate. Some in men and a lot of women. It all depends. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.